Hello, and welcome back to the finale of, well, not the finale, the final character of the My Little Pony Friendship is Masochistic series. And that would be, come on, y'all know, Rainbow Dash. The final pony who's dedicated to speed, 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 and more speed. Let's go ahead and get her in costume, and we'll go from there. Now, few things I want to say first up front. Through good and bad, this has been a nice series. It started off as me wanting to dink around for a while rather than actually play seriously and try and win only in playing optimal characters, with self-imposed restrictions to make centaurs harder than they already kind of sort of are. And I would say I succeeded at that end admirably. But actually playing through it, I've learned a lot about playing centaurs and a lot about the game in general. It's also been a very long series, and frankly, one of the longest I've done, so that's all been nice. That said, it's not over till it's over. Rainbow Dash is the pony of speed. Therefore, the restrictions I place on Rainbow Dash are that she must learn Swiftness, Sonic Rainboom, therefore Airstrike, and if available, Tornado. Those are the skills that she must learn. Otherwise, I should attempt to kill things by using air, but that's not a requirement. That said, I've decided to go for a spell casting of air and conjurations and magic and that kind of thing, manipulation of weather, etc., because that would be thematically appropriate and actually sounds at least somewhat viable. So that's the plan, and these are the initial skill choices. Let's ditch one of these schools for the moment, let it be air magic, so spellcasting conjurations early on, just so that my zap becomes somewhat useful. And this is perfectly fitting with Rainbow Dash in character, where she is a Pegasus that controls weather. Not a Pegasus, yeah, Pegasus. Said it right the first time. Pegasus that controls weather. Also, Zap is in my opinion, it's one of the worst of the early conjurations, but it does have its advantages, namely piercing through enemies and potential double hits like that. Rainbow Dash is also just in general one of the most athletic of the ponies, right up there with Applejack. So totally okay to use any kind of melee fighting tactic that I desire as the game goes on. Swiftness is an absolute must. Swiftness is basically this character's closest as the closest she's gonna get to blink for probably a very long time. In terms of survival bonus as well as in terms of just useful spell, and at the low point of level 2. What else is there here? Back away. Let's lightning bolt through everything. God choice is pretty much unrestricted. I guess I should avoid worshipping evil gods just on principle that none of the ponies are evil, but it really doesn't matter. Because with the exception of Machleb, or Trog. Trog isn't even evil, really. Or is he? I don't know. But I have no intention of worshipping an evil god anyway, so it's all good. Oh, come on, don't do this to me. See, right here is where Swiftness would have been great, but I do not yet have enough magic or enough training to Swiftness effectively. I swear to God, I just left you. Okay, I have to run for it. Not know of a poison cure for certain, and that means the first time I get poisoned could very well be the last. This is a fairly solid escape route. Wow, I am miscasting this a lot. Grab the rat corpse on my way. A couple more blasts. Why won't you die? Oh shit, I missed the snake and hit myself with my own zap. That's just peachy. You know, the number of times I've gone around this pillar, I won't be surprised if new enemies have spawned. That was painful. And the rat corpse began to rot in the time period that it took to go around that pillar. Go figure, right? Alrighty, hang on a moment. Let's see what this is. Okie dokie. Recovering health. Next floor. Let us search. Kill. Kill. I'm gonna keep going dexterity only, both for the dodge effect and the thematic approach of she's fast and agile and such. Though technically speaking, strength would make just as much sense. I would have to give the strongest pony choice to Applejack. And again, I am not restricted by that choice, since, you know, that was not one of the official restrictions. Alrighty, zap, 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 boom, zap, 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 zap. God, you have to manually target to make sure that it hits the largest number of enemies, because otherwise it will just shoot at the first enemy and then stop right there. There's enough enemies I want to pull them back before I start wasting my mana. Now I can hit them both at once. The rare times it doesn't miscast. Spellcasting and Conjuration still is a good pair. We're going to have to switch over to air soon, which is going to be nice since most of my spells are all going to be air-based for a while. Very few resist-elect enemies early on in the game. Hell, very few in the mid-game. I should be able to blast things with electricity for a very long time. Good God, are you guys seriously that hardy? Okay, that's a large number of takedowns. I'll just pummel you to death as well. Okay, there we go. Continue with my zapping. Zap, 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 zap. Next floor. Alright, we're just gonna electroshock all of these orcs on a line. We have a convenient escape route if things should go wrong. Okay, things have gone wrong because I am out of mana and still they are not all dead. And I am confused. Hopefully this won't last too long. I managed to stumble upstairs while confused. That was nice. Unfortunately for me, that does not translate to my enemies having died, so no food. There we go. I can eat an orc. And nausea, which still exists in this version of the game. God damn, man. They've gotten rid of nausea in version 13, and honestly, it's one of the only things about version 13 that is unequivocally superior in my mind. Okay, well, I can't eat, so there we go. Ration time. Keep going. Well, that was bad. Apparently I fired 3 shots and none of them were good enough. At least it didn't cost me one of my bread rations. Alright, cast ability is up to 10%, which is good. I'm going to turn back on air magic just so I can mass train everything at a penalty. Unfortunately, this is leaving my primary leaving all my defenses untrained, including what should be my primary defense of high health, at least early on. Heal up, knock out, try out these daggers one after the other. That's cursed, go figure. Any of these an uncurse? Ring, curing, remove curse. Thank you. Put on the ring, try out a new dagger. It is also cursed. Okay then. Well, we'll hang on to the second cursed dagger for the time being since I don't really need to swap anything with that slot, and I will continue to suffer from hunger. Okay, it takes a lot of hits to knock you out. That tells me that the weapon is probably negative in some way. Okay, starving, so we'll eat a bread ration again. Running lower on rations than I'd like. At least it's a dagger so I can cut things, right? Take down, kill. I can attack you. I have the ability to cure. What do you mean no visible monsters within range? How does that not count as a visible monster in range? Oh, it is immune to electricity. Fuck. What other options do I have? All of these are electric in some way. So let's turn on swiftness and get the hell out of here. I mean, with nothing but a cursed probably negative dagger on my hand. I don't really feel like I'm going to be able to take it on. And given that that's one of them, there's probably at least two based on the other one that I saw earlier being here. Oh, come on. There we go. Swiftness. Pull back. Couple shots, couple takedowns. As tempting as it is to take on this fortress, I'm going to go ahead and say that the risk involved is too great, since I have no means of dealing with at least one of the enemies, which is the potentially invisible sky beast, and there's probably at least two of them. That means that my flank is going to be impossible to properly guard, and I don't want to get hit in the flank. What the fuck? Okay. I'm not sure how I was ever expected to deal with this, but I just walked into a death trap and I don't have the tools to escape it. I'm going to take a step. Smiting is inevitable. Heal. Heal. Step. And now I can think again because I'm out of options. There's literally no way to survive this, because no matter what I do, I'm going to be vulnerable to smiting this whole way. If one of these scrolls was somehow beneficial, I'd be in good shape, but I don't know that, and I can't know that. My spell list is too small, but even if it was bigger, all I would have is repel missiles available. Maybe I would have had lightning bolt at like 35% fail. I can attempt to shock the priest to death, but that will take at least 4 shots. This hallway is very long. That was the first smite. It's gonna get a second. Maybe it won't. Maybe I'll be able to outrun it. Okay, I did in fact outrun it. Swiftness immediately. I didn't want to take an extra turn to turn on swiftness while I was still facing him. That was unfair. Legitimately unfair. Oh, fuck you! Fuck you! That poison is the death of me. There's nothing I can do about it. That's just, yeah, that was legitimately unfair. I walked into a swarm that I couldn't do anything about without any means of protection. The only thing I might have done different would have been to ID my scrolls, but re-IDing those scrolls, I only had one of each, would have meant I wouldn't have the scroll to use. And sure enough, the cursed dagger I was wielding was a very bad dagger, so I was correct in not trying to melee with it. It's unfair because I was really hoping Rainbow Dash would be the one to pull it out. I thought that she had all the right tools, just needed a little bit of a head start to make things work. But no, instead she ends up being the worst of the ponies, not even worthy of making the high score list, period, in any position. Still, that's the last pony. Tune in possibly this weekend, but in all fairness and honesty, probably next weekend, when I will bring you something else. And I have yet to decide what my next big series is going to be, so there's a good chance I will just be running a request next week, depending on what comes to mind. I've already done my make an ogre win the dungeon, and that was what Jub I believe did it. Yeah, Jub did it. That was nice. So on my menu, hang on, let me take a look. I believe there was something that I had in mind that I hadn't done yet. I had been thinking of doing a top level of sling wielder, possibly as a Spriggan or a kobold, as a possibility. It's been a long time since I've run a vampire or / mummy through, which is cool. I was gonna do a draconian, but I already did that for the tournament, and that was very fun and very successful, but also very recent. So I don't feel like doing that just again. And I do not feel like doing a Hilorc Priest of Baal, because if I was gonna do that, I would definitely want to do it in the new version of Crawl where they've upgraded it. So yeah, it's not coming to mind what my next big idea was. I'll figure it out. Anyway, that is the death of Rainbow Dash. Thank you all for watching. I will see you guys next time.